while bicycles ridden after dark must have front and rear lights, and a rear reflector. These illumination devices may be hard for a motorist to see. A motorist should always remain alert to the presence of smaller vehicles. When turning right, motorists should be aware of bicyclists, skateboarders, and inline skaters. Before turning, the motorist should wait until the intersection clears. Motorists signaling a right turn must yield to bicyclists, skateboarders, or inline skaters moving through an intersection. To turn left, a bicyclist, skateboarder, or inline skater may choose to use traffic lanes to turn as a vehicle would. A motorist should be aware that a bicyclist, skateboarder, or inline skater may ride on the right edge of the turn lane. Remember that motorists share the road with bicyclists, skateboarders, and inline skaters. Please be sure that you are helping to keep the roads safe by observing these safety precautions. Check your blind spots before turning, parallel parking, opening a door, or pulling away from a curb. Check around your vehicle by turning your head instead of relying only on your mirrors. When turning right, be sure to check for other traffic, including bicyclists, skateboarders, and inline skaters, and avoid turning in front of them. They may not be able to stop quickly. When turning left, yield to all oncoming traffic including bicyclists, skateboarders, and inline skaters. If a bicyclist, skateboarder, or inline skater is in front of you in a left turn lane, wait for them to complete their turn before you proceed. Motorized scooters NJSA 39 to 4-14.12 through 39 to 4-14.15, NJSA 39.1-1. A motorized scooter is a miniature motor vehicle. Although it is illegal for these vehicles to be driven on any public road or sidewalk, except on designated municipal or county property, motorists must be especially alert if these types of vehicles are present. Motorized scooters may be extremely hard to see. Page 153. Side no zone. Drive away from the long blind spots on the sides of trucks. If the truck driver must quickly change lanes or make an emergency maneuver, a vehicle in this area will be in the way. Do not linger alongside a truck when passing. Head on no zone. A motorist should bear right when a large vehicle is traveling toward his/her vehicle from opposite direction. This reduces wind turbulence between the motorist and the larger vehicle, and possibly prevents a sideswipe. Yielding to school and commercial buses. State law requires all non-emergency vehicles to yield the right-of-way to buses re-entering traffic after dropping off or picking up bus passengers. However, once the bus is back in the normal flow of traffic, motorists are not required to yield the right-of-way to buses changing lanes. Bus operators are required to drive in a safe and responsible manner. The yield law was enacted to improve safety on the state's roadways. Violations of this law carry a fine of not less than $50 or more than $200, up to 15 days in jail or both a fine and jail term. NJSA 39 to 4-87.1. Mopeds. Motorized bicycles, or mopeds, are low-speed, two-wheeled vehicles with pedals, intended for limited use on public roadways. Moped drivers may not exceed 25 miles per hour. Must follow all traffic signs and signals, and drive on the right side of the road with the flow of traffic. A motorist should always be alert for mopeds, which are smaller than motorcycles and may be harder to see. Moped drivers have the same rights and responsibilities as those driving other motor vehicles. A copy of the New Jersey Moped Manual may be viewed online at www.njmvc.gov. Bicycles, skateboards, and inline skates when passing or approaching a bicyclist, skateboarder, or inline skater traveling in the same direction. A motorist should maintain a safe distance until safely past the overtaken bicyclist, skateboarder, or inline skater. Under New Jersey law, bicyclists, skateboarders, and inline skaters have the same rights and responsibilities as motor vehicles. No zone 10-20 feet, no zone 200 feet. The black areas are no zones. If you are in one of these areas, the driver of the truck can't see you. See another motorist's vehicle in the rearview or side view mirrors. The vehicle is in a no zone, or blind spot. Rear no zone. Stay far behind a truck or tractor trailer that is preparing to back up or is backing up. Never pass close behind a truck or tractor trailer that is preparing to back up or is in the process of backing up. Because of their width, trucks and tractor trailers completely use caution when passing trucks. They make wide turn hide objects that suddenly come between them and a loading area. The area behind the truck or tractor trailer is a no-zone blind spot, not only for the truck or tractor trailer driver but for other motorists as well. A motorist should increase following distance behind a truck, tractor trailer, or bus so its driver can spot a motorist's vehicle in the rearview mirrors. Never tailgate or remain sandwiched between trucks, tractor trailers, or buses. A motorist should maintain a sizable space cushion between his/her vehicle and larger vehicles. Leave space when stopping at a light or sign behind a truck, tractor trailer, or bus, especially when facing uphill. Larger vehicles may roll backward slightly when starting. Give more road space to a truck driver who is making a wide turn. Because trucks are larger than other vehicles, their drivers may have to slow, back up or swing wide to negotiate a turn. They cannot see smaller vehicles directly behind or beside them. For example, a truck may have to swing wide to the left to make a right turn. Front no zone. Maintain a consistent speed when passing. Do not pull in front of a truck when passing until the whole front of the truck can be seen in the rearview mirror. Always signal before changing lanes. Never pass a truck on the right. When passed by a motorcycle, a motorist should maintain his/her speed and position. Allow plenty of room for the motorcycle to complete the pass and resume proper lane position. A motorist's failure to detect and recognize motorcycles in traffic is the most common cause of motorcycle crashes. For more information on motorcycle safety, visit www.njridesafe.org. Trucks, tractor trailers, and buses. A motorist should always use caution when driving alongside trucks, tractor trailers, and buses. Sharing the road with larger vehicles can be safe if the motorist knows the limitations of these vehicles regarding visibility, required stopping distance and maneuverability. When passing a large truck, tractor trailer, or bus, it is important to remember that there are several no zones blind spots in which the truck, tractor trailer, or bus driver cannot see other vehicles. In addition, during bad weather, a truck, or tractor trailer, or bus can take as much as 25% longer to stop. The no-zone principle: avoid the areas around trucks, tractor trailers, and buses where vehicles disappear into blind spots. Do not move so close to a truck or bus that the driver's ability to stop or maneuver effectively is restricted. The potential for a crash is increased when a motorist is riding in the no zone. If the driver of a large truck, or tractor trailer, or bus cannot always watch for pedestrians. Be extra careful at intersections, particularly when making a permitted right turn on red. Motorists are required to stop for pedestrians who have the right of way within a crosswalk, and to yield to those who are crossing at an unmarked crosswalk at an intersection. Be alert for pedestrians when making turns and entering and exiting driveways, parking lots, and alleys. Visually challenged persons. The law is very specific that motorists must give the right of way when any of the following crosses any highway or intersection. Blind persons who use a predominantly white or metallic cane, blind persons accompanied by a guide dog, or a guide dog instructor engaged in instructing a guide dog. A motorist must stop when he/she sees a person with a white or metallic colored cane, or a blind person or instructor with a guide dog. All motorists must comply with this law. NJSA 39-4-37.1 Vehicles. Motorcycles. Be alert. The laws governing four-wheeled vehicles such as cars and trucks also govern motorcycles. However, a motorcycle rider may react differently to situations when compared to other motorists. Always keep in mind several key items when sharing the road with motorcycles. Be aware of slippery, sloped or uneven surfaces, or grooves and gratings in the roadway. These present potential hazards for motorcycle riders. Check blind spots twice before changing lanes or making turns. Watch for motorcycles at intersections and when making a left turn. Always signal your intentions. Anticipate a motorcycle rider's maneuver to avoid obstructions that may be minimal to a car or truck, but dangerous to a motorcycle. Always leave plenty of room between an automobile and a motorcycle. Never follow a motorcycle too closely because motorcycles have the ability to brake within shorter distances than other types of vehicle. The roadway within a marked crosswalk, and shall yield the right of way to a pedestrian crossing the roadway within any unmarked crosswalk at an intersection. Except at crosswalks when the movement of traffic is being regulated by police officers or traffic control signals, or where otherwise prohibited by municipal, county, or state regulation. And except where a pedestrian tunnel or overhead pedestrian crossing has been provided. No pedestrian shall suddenly leave a curb or other place of safety and walk or run into the path of a vehicle which is so close that it is impossible for the driver to yield. A motorist in violation of the law may face a fine of up to $200 and may be assessed 2 points on his/her driver record. The court may also impose a term of community service not to exceed 15 days. NJSA 39-4-36 If a pedestrian suffers serious bodily injury as a result of a motorist's violation of NJSA 39-4-36, the motorist is subject to a $100 to $500 fine, up to 25 days in jail and a driving privilege suspension of up to 6 months. Never pass a vehicle stopped at a crosswalk. NJSA 39-4-36. This frequently causes severe injury or death to pedestrians, especially if the passing vehicle is traveling at a high rate of speed. When stopping for a crosswalk on a multi-lane road, a motorist should stop approximately 30 feet before a crosswalk to avoid blocking visibility of a motorist in the second lane. Motorists should watch for signs that mark special hazard areas, such as school zones, bus stops, playgrounds, parks, and schools, where children are most likely to play or cross the streets. Children chasing a ball, for instance, give no thought to traffic. Small children are hard to see. Always watch for movement around parked vehicles. Motorists should drive cautiously along roadways with on-street parking, as pedestrians may appear from between parked vehicles. Motorists traveling at lower speeds will have a greater ability to stop their vehicle and avoid potential conflicts with pedestrians. Pedestrians and joggers should always face oncoming traffic and use sidewalks when available. They should cross at crosswalks on the It is important for a motorist to maintain an awareness of how to operate his/her vehicle in a manner that safely shares the roadway with pedestrians, bicyclists, skaters, riders of motorized scooters, and other non-motorized vehicles. Sharing the road means being aware of and knowing how to safely pass a cyclist on the roadway, recognizing bicycle lanes, safely navigating intersections with pedestrians and cyclists, and exiting a vehicle without endangering pedestrians and cyclists. It is a motorist's responsibility to know how to safely share the road with others. Pedestrians in 2016, 166 pedestrians were killed in traffic-related crashes on New Jersey roadways. Although reduced from 173 in 2015, pedestrian deaths still accounted for 27% of New Jersey traffic fatalities in 2016 as compared to the national average of 15%. These fatalities need to be brought down further, with the goal of zero deaths. Many of the measures designed to make roads safer for motorists, such as large medians and wide shoulders, make roads more treacherous for pedestrians. Vehicle pedestrian crashes have a 5% fatality rate if the car is going 20 miles per hour, but the rate jumps to 85% at 40 miles per hour. Pedestrian activity is at its greatest in densely developed areas, such as cities and town centers, but it also is significant in neighborhoods and along and across suburban roadways. Motorists should take special precautions to watch for pedestrians. In most cases, pedestrians have the right of way at all intersections. There is a crosswalk at every intersection, even if it is not marked as such. This is known as an unmarked crosswalk. Pedestrians must obey pedestrian signals and use crosswalks at signalized intersections. There is a $54 fine for failure to observe the law. NJSA 39-4-32 and 33. The penalty for pedestrians under 17 who violate the pedestrian laws is a $22 fine. NJSA 39-4-203.3. Motorists are prohibited from blocking a crosswalk when stopped at a red light or stop sign. A motorist must not stop with any portion of his/her vehicle in the crosswalk area. When a motorist blocks a crosswalk, pedestrians are forced to go around the vehicle, putting them in danger. The driver of a vehicle shall stop and remain stopped to allow a pedestrian to cross. Statute violation point value NJSA 39-4-127. Improper backing or turning in street 2. NJSA 39-4-127.1. Improper crossing of a railroad grade crossing 2. NJSA 39-4-127.2. Improper crossing of a bridge 2. NJSA 39-4-128. Improper crossing of a railroad grade crossing by certain vehicles 2. NJSA 39-4-128.1. Improper passing of a school bus 5. NJSA 39-4-128.4. Improper passing of a frozen dessert truck 4. NJSA 39-4-129. Leaving the scene of a crash no personal injury 2. Personal injury 8. NJSA 39-4-144. Failure to observe stop or yield signs 2. NJSA 39-5D4. Moving violation out of state 2. Interstate compacts. New Jersey belongs to 2 interstate compacts. Member states exchange information to ensure motorists comply with the law and that they receive penalties for violations. The Non-Resident Violator Compact assures that non-resident motorists in member states will receive the same treatment as resident motorists. When motorists receive traffic citations in member states, they must fulfill the terms of that citation or face the possibility of license suspension in their home state until they meet those terms. Non-resident motorists have due process protection and cannot be detained out of state. Currently, 44 states and the District of Columbia are members of the compact. Alaska, California, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Wisconsin are non-members. The compact does not apply to parking or standing violations, highway weight limit violations, and violations of hazmat transportation laws. NJSA 39-5 F1 through 39-5 F30. The driver license compact exchanges violation information with other states and the District of Columbia. Out-of-state violations become part of a motorist's New Jersey driving record. Georgia, Massachusetts, Michigan, Tennessee, and Wisconsin are non-member states. NJSA 39-5 D1 through 39-5 D14. Statute violation point value NJSA 39-4-85.1 wrong way on one-way street 2 NJSA 39-4-86 improper passing in a no-passing zone 4 NJSA 39-4-87 failure to yield to an overtaking vehicle 2 NJSA 39-4-88 failure to observe traffic lanes 2 NJSA 39-4-89 tailgating 5 NJSA 39-4-90 failure to yield at an intersection 2 NJSA 39-4-90.1 failure to use proper entrances to limited access highways 2 NJSA 39-4-91 and NJSA 39-4-92 failure to yield to emergency vehicle 2 NJSA 39-4-96 reckless driving 5 NJSA 39-4-97 careless driving 2 NJSA 39-4-97 a destruction of agricultural or recreational property 2 NJSA 39-4-97.1 slow speed blocking traffic 2 NJSA 39-4-97.2 driving in an unsafe manner points assessed for a third or subsequent violations occurring within 5 years of the most recent previous offense 4 NJSA 39-4-97.3 using a handheld cell phone while driving. Points will be assessed against a third conviction within 10 years of a second conviction and all fourth and subsequent offenses. 3 NJSA 39-4-98 and NJSA 39-4-99 exceeding maximum speed 1 to 14 miles per hour over the limit 2 exceeding maximum speed 15 to 29 miles per hour over the limit 4 exceeding maximum speed 30 miles per hour or more over the limit 5 NJSA 39-4-105 failure to stop for a traffic light 2 NJSA 39-4-115 improper turn at a traffic light 3 NJSA 39-4-119 failure to stop at a flashing red signal 2 NJSA 39-4-122 failure to stop for a police whistle 2 NJSA 39-4-123 improper right or left turn 3 NJSA 39-4-124 improper turn from an approved turning course 3 NJSA 39-4-125 improper U-turn 3 NJSA 39-4-126 failure to give proper signal 2 continued. Moving violation point chart statute violation point value NJSA 27-23-29 moving against traffic, New Jersey Turnpike, Garden State Parkway, and Atlantic City Expressway 2 NJSA 27 to 23-29 improper passing, New Jersey Turnpike, Garden State Parkway, and Atlantic City Expressway 4 NJSA 27 to 23-29 unlawful use of median strip, New Jersey Turnpike, Garden State Parkway, and Atlantic City Expressway 2 NJSA 39 to 3-20 operating a construction vehicle in excess of 45 miles per hour 3 NJSA 39 to 4-14.3 operating a motorized bicycle on a restricted highway 2 NJSA 39 to 4-14.3 d more than one person on a motorized bicycle 2 NJSA 39 to 4-35 failure to yield to a pedestrian in a crosswalk 2 NJSA 39 to 4-36 failure to stop for pedestrian in crosswalk, passing a vehicle yielding to a pedestrian in a crosswalk 2 NJSA 39 to 4-41 driving through a safety zone 2 NJSA 39 to 4-52 and NJSA 39 to 5C1 racing on Highway 5 NJSA 39 to 4-55 improper action or omission on grades and curves 2 NJSA 39 to 4-57 failure to observe a direction of an officer 2 NJSA 39 to 4-66 failure to stop a vehicle before crossing a sidewalk 2 NJSA 39 to 4-66.1 failure to yield to pedestrians or vehicles while entering or leaving a highway 2 NJSA 39 to 4-66.2 operating a motor vehicle on public or private property to avoid a traffic control signal or sign 2 NJSA 39 to 4-71 operating a motor vehicle on a sidewalk 2 NJSA 39 to 4-80 failure to obey a direction of an officer 2 NJSA 39 to 4-81 failure to observe traffic signals 2 NJSA 39 to 4-82 failure to keep right 2 NJSA 39 to 4-82.1 improper operating of a vehicle on a divided highway or divider 2 NJSA 39 to 4-83 failure to keep right at an intersection 2 NJSA 39 to 4-84 failure to pass right of vehicle proceeding in opposite direction 5 NJSA 39 to 4-85 improper passing on right or off roadway 4 continued. Restoration fees may be paid online through our website https://nj.gov/mvc/license/suspension.htm. Failure to pay any violation surcharges will result in the indefinite suspension of all driving privileges. The MVC may file a judgment action in the State Superior Court for unpaid surcharges. Secure a lien against any real property that a motorist owns, file for wage garnishment or take other legal actions. NJSA 1729A35 motor vehicle convictions may increase automobile insurance premiums assessed by a motorist's insurance company. Point system. The MVC keeps track of a motorist's driving record by adding points to the record when the motorist is convicted of a moving violation. The more serious the violation, the more points the motorist is given. See the following point chart for various possible violations. All point violations after March 1, 1974, will stay on a motorist's driving record. 2 points will be added to a driving record for traffic violations committed in other states. Up to 3 points will be subtracted from a motorist's point total every year that the motorist goes without a violation or suspension, and the motorist's driving privileges remain in good standing. But the point total will never be reduced below 0. NJSA 39 to 5-30.9 traffic laws are enforceable on highways, roadways, parking areas, driveways. and grounds owned and maintained by government entities. Violation surcharges and point violations. Motorists who accumulate 6 or more points within 3 years are subject to a surcharge of $150 for 6 points and $25 for each additional point. Surcharges are levied in addition to any court-imposed fines and penalties. Surcharges will remain operational if a motorist has 6 or more points on his/her motorist record resulting from violations posted in the preceding 3 years. Point totals are based on the date the violations are posted to a motorist's record, not when a violation occurred. NJSA 1729A35 standard point reductions do not apply to the violation surcharge system. Convicted or administratively suspended motorists must pay a prescribed dollar amount each year for 3 years. Violation surcharge. Unlicensed driver NJAC 1319-13.1 $100 no insurance, moped NJAC 1319-13.1 $100 driving while suspended, Court of MVC reported NJAC 1319-13.2 $250 no liability insurance on motor vehicle NJAC 1319-13.2 $250 DUI refusal NJSA 1729A35 $1000 DUI refusal third if within 3 years NJSA 17.29A35 $1,500 ways to pay a violation surcharge bill, mail payment to NJSVS, P.O. Box 1502 Moorestown, NJ 08057-9704, pay online at www.njsurcharge.com online services. Use charge by phone, call toll-free 844-424-6829 using MasterCard, Visa or Discover. Visit an MVC full-service agency in person. Defensive driving courses. Most road crashes are caused by motorist error. To reduce the likelihood of being involved in a crash, a motorist needs to understand the concept of defensive driving. These voluntary courses provide a motorist with standard crash-preventing techniques. Upon completion of the defensive driving course, 2 points will be removed from the accumulated points currently on a driver license. NJSA 39-5-30.9, the motorist may qualify for an insurance rate reduction. Contact your insurance agent for more information. The MVC will only recognize a defensive driving course once every 5 years for point reduction. NJSA 39-5-30.9. In addition to classroom-based courses, motorists also have the option of taking an online defensive driving course. The MVC provides a list of approved online providers. For a list of state-approved defensive driving courses, visit the MVC website www.state.nj.us/mvc/license/driverprograms.htm. Mature driver program. A mature driver should constantly re-evaluate his/her driving skills. Defensive driving courses are available to mature drivers, 55 years and older. At various driving schools or through specific organizations. Various providers offer a driver safety class that is intended to help drivers live more independently as they age and remain safe on today's roads. The 6-hour class, open to everyone, helps motorists refine existing skills and develop safe defensive driving techniques. The course is also available online. As an added bonus, course participants may be eligible to receive a state-mandated, multi-year discount on their auto insurance premiums and a reduction of 2 points off their driving record, if applicable. Other restrictions may apply. Consult your insurance company for details. For a list of state-approved defensive driving courses, visit the MVC website at www. The MVC chief administrator or an administrative law judge will determine if driving privileges should be suspended for a motorist who is granted a hearing. A motorist who successfully completes a driver improvement program will have 3 points removed from his/her record. NJSA 39-5-30.9 Drivers may schedule training with a licensed statewide safety organization or a New Jersey licensed driving school licensed to conduct a New Jersey-approved driver improvement program. Please visit the MVC website at www.state.nj.us/mvc/lee-sense/driverprograms.htm, for a list of licensed providers. A $75 administration fee, payable to the MVC, is required prior to scheduling a class with a private provider. An additional program fee, payable to the program provider, is also required prior to attending the class. After completion of a driver improvement program or after restoration of a motorist's driving privilege, he/she will be in a probationary period for 1 year. Any moving violations that occur during this probationary period will result in a scheduled suspension of the motorist's driving privileges. Probationary driver program. A motorist begins a 2-year probationary driver period after receiving SPECL learner or examination permit. During this probationary period, a motorist convicted of 2 or more moving violations totaling 4 or more points must enroll in the probationary driver program, which is administered by a licensed statewide safety organization or New Jersey licensed driving school licensed to conduct the probationary driver program. NJAC 1320-17.6 Visit the MVC website, www.state.nj.us/mvc/license/driverprograms.htm, for a list of licensed providers. A $75 administration fee, payable to the MVC, is required prior to scheduling a class with a private provider. Plus, an additional program fee, payable to the program provider, is required prior to attending the class. Completion of this program will result in up to a 3-point reduction on an individual motorist's driver history record. Failure to complete the program or conviction of 1 or more subsequent moving point violations during the test period will result in a suspension of driving privileges. Driving under the influence (DUI) conviction. A motorist caught with a passenger under 18 years of age at the time of the violation will face a disorderly persons offense. Will receive suspension of driving privileges for not more than 6 months and will perform up to 5 days of community service. NJSA 39-4-50.15 If an individual is at least 13 years old but under 18 years of age, his/her driving privileges are subject to suspension or postponement for a graffiti conviction. NJSA 2A, 4A-43.3, sets false alarms and is under 21 years of age, moped or other motor vehicle privileges will be suspended or eligibility will be postponed for 6 months. If under 17 years of age at the time of conviction, driving privileges will be suspended immediately and until 6 months after the day the person reaches 17 years of age. Additionally, the individual is subject to court-ordered civil penalties. NJSA 2C 33-3.1 Driver Programs. Driver Improvement Program. Motorists who accumulate between 12 and 14 points in a 24-month period or more will receive a notice of scheduled suspension by mail from the MVC. Upon receiving the notice, a motorist can do one of the following: Attend a New Jersey driver improvement program may not be eligible if points were accumulated within a 24-month period, request a hearing, surrender his/her driver license for the suspension. Period. Other violations: a vehicle owner who knowingly allows another motorist, who is currently suspended for driving while intoxicated or suspended for refusal to submit to a chemical test, to operate his or her vehicle. The result is a fine of no more than $1,000, imprisonment for no more than 15 days or both. A vehicle owner who violates this law on 3 or more occasions would also be subject to a 90-day driver license suspension. NJSA 39-3-40, a motorist who loans a license to another motorist. He/she may be fined $200 to $500, face jail time and face a suspension of license. NJSA 39-3-37, a motorist who has another person take the driving test. Motorists may face a $200 to $500 fine and/or imprisonment up to 6 months. The driver license may also be revoked. NJSA 39-3-37, failure to appear at any scheduled court proceeding when charged with a non-indictable criminal offense, an ordinance violation or a motor vehicle offense. It may result in a court-ordered driver license suspension until the pending matter is settled. NJSA 2B 12-31, failure to meet the conditions of a sentence imposed, such as to pay a fine, make restitution or perform community service. It will result in a court-ordered driver license suspension. NJSA 2B 12-31, failure to pay a total of 6 months of court-ordered child support or provide health insurance. If a child support-related warrant exists in the motorist's name, the courts can order basic and commercial driver licenses and professional occupational licenses to be suspended until payments are made. NJSA 2A 17-56.44, a boater convicted of operating under the influence (DUI) on New Jersey's waterways will be suspended from both boating and all driver license privileges and be fined $250 to $500 for the first offense, $500 to $1,000 for the second offense and $1,000 for the third and subsequent offenses. Violators under 17 years of age will have their vehicle and moped license privileges delayed for 3 months. 6 months and 2 years for first, second and third offenses, respectively. NJSA 12-7-46. Additional penalties for driving while suspended. Driving while license and/or registration is suspended for failure to properly insure a vehicle will result in a fine of $500. An additional driver license suspension of 1 to 2 years and possible court-ordered imprisonment for up to 90 days. NJSA 39-3-40, driving while a license and/or registration is suspended and having a crash that causes injury to another person will result in a fine, continued suspension and the potential for a minimum 45-day jail sentence. NJSA 39-3-40, driving while a license and/or registration is suspended for a drug or alcohol offense, refusal to take a breath test or if the motorist is a habitual offender, will result in a fine of $500 and an additional license suspension of 1 to 2 years and/or possible court-ordered imprisonment for 10 to 90 days. NJSA 39-3-40, driving while a driving privilege is suspended due to driving while under the influence, refusal to submit to a chemical test or for a habitual offender offense, and driving on school property or within 1,000 feet of school property or through a school crossing zone will result to 1 to 2 years additional suspension time. a $500 fine and between 60 to 90 days imprisonment for a first offense. For second, third and subsequent offenses, the suspension and fines remain the same. But the imprisonment term is increased to 120, 150 and 180 days, respectively. NJSA 39-3-40, driving after failing to install an interlock device, as ordered by the court, results in a 1-year suspension, in addition to any other suspensions already imposed, and may include penalties as a disorderly person. NJSA 39-4-50.19, it is a fourth-degree crime to drive while under suspension for a first violation of NJSA 39-4-50, driving under the influence, or NJSA 39-4-50.4, refusal to submit a breath test, and the driver had previously been convicted of driving while suspended while under suspension for the DUI or refusal conviction. It is a fourth-degree crime to drive while under suspension for any second or subsequent violation of NJSA 39-4-50 or NJSA 39-4-50.4a. NJSA 2c. 40-26. 65 miles per hour zone, speeding 10 miles per hour or more above the posted speed limit or other certain moving violations in a 65 mph speed zone means doubled fines. Some offenses include racing on a public highway, refusal to comply with an officer's request, failure to obey traffic signs or signals, failure to comply with rules for passing another vehicle, failure to obey road markings, failure to observe distance between vehicles, and careless driving. NJSA 39-4-98.6, failure to comply. Motorists face a $50 fine if they fail to comply with a police officer's request to illuminate the driver's compartment of the vehicle when stopped. NJSA 39-4-57.1, insurance fraud. Motorists convicted of fraud on insurance applications and claims forms may receive fines of up to $5,000, or imprisonment for up to 3 years, or both. In the event the motorist fraudulently receives $500 or less, he/she may be fined up to $500 and/or imprisoned for not more than 6 months as a disorderly person. In addition, a person convicted of an automobile insurance crime will lose his/her driver license for 1 year. NJSA 39-6A15. Hit and run. A hit and run involving bodily injury or death results in a fine of $2,500 to $5,000 and/or 180 days in jail for the motorist. In addition, for a first offense, the motorist loses his/her license for 1 year. For a subsequent offense, the motorist permanently loses his/her license. NJSA 39-4-129, lying on application. Lying when applying for a license or registration will result in a fine of not less than $200 or more than $500 and/or up to 6 months imprisonment. A motorist will also lose his/her driver license or registration privileges for 6 months to 2 years. NJSA 39-3-37, driving while suspended. Driving while a driver license and/or registration is suspended can result in the following penalties. First offense: fine of $500 and up to 6 months additional license and/or registration suspension. NJSA 39 to 3-40, second offense, fine of $750. Jail sentence for not more than 5 days and up to 6 months additional license and/or registration suspension. NJSA 39 to 3-40, third offense, fine of $1,000. A 10-day jail sentence and up to 6 months additional license and/or registration suspension. For a first offense, not less than $100 or more than $250 for a second offense, and not less than $200 or more than $500 for a third or subsequent offense. Motorists will be assessed 4 motor vehicle penalty points if the third or subsequent offense occurs within 5 years of the prior offense. There is also a $250 court surcharge for each offense. NJSA 39 to 4-97.2, reckless driving, driving recklessly in a manner that willfully endangers the rights, property or safety of others is punishable by imprisonment of up to 60 days, or by a fine of not less than $50 or more than $200, or both for a first offense. NJSA 39 to 4-96 also. Points are assessed. Abandoning a vehicle. Motorists who abandon their motor vehicles on or along limited-access highways for 4 hours or more without permission are subject to a fine of not less than $100 or more than $500 and possible loss of driving privileges for up to 2 years. For subsequent the violations the fine is not less than $500 nor more than $1,000, and the suspension is up to 5 years. The same penalties apply when owners abandon their vehicles on any highway or public property without consent for 48 hours or more and when owners abandon their vehicles for any period without current license plates. NJSA 39 to 4-56.5, carrying alcoholic beverages. Motorists who carry open or unsealed alcoholic beverage containers in passenger areas of motor vehicles are subject to a fine of $2. First DUI offense with BAC of 0.15% or higher or refusal to submit to breath test offense on or after 1 December 19. Installation of ignition interlock device during suspension and for 9 to 15 months from the date of driving privilege restoration. Second or subsequent DUI or refusal to breath test offense prior to 1 December 19. Installation of ignition interlock device during suspend scion and for 1 to 3 years from the date of driving privilege restoration. second or subsequent DUI or refusal to breath test offense on or after 1 December 19. Installation of ignition interlock device during suspension and for 2 to 4 years from the date of driving privilege restoration. If the court sentences a motorist to install an interlock device, he/she will receive an MVC notice explaining how to obtain the device, as well as an additional MVC notice confirming the suspension. An approved list of interlock device manufacturers can be found on the MVC's website at www.njmvc.gov. Intoxicated Driver Resource Center (IDRC) state law requires that any motorist charged with an alcohol-related traffic offense must be detained at an IDRC. Each of New Zealand The courts may require DUI offenders to use ignition interlock devices on their motor vehicle. An interlock device is attached to a motor vehicle to prevent it from being started when the alcohol level of the motorist's breath exceeds a predetermined amount. Installation of the interlock device may be required during the motorist's period of suspension. In addition, once the motorist's driving privilege is restored, the interlock device may be required for anywhere from 3 months to 4 years. Breath test NJSA 39-4-50.4 New Jersey has an implied consent law. This means that motorists on New Jersey roadways have agreed, simply by using New Jersey roadways, to submit to a breath test given by law enforcement or hospital staff following an arrest for an intoxicated driving offense. Motorists who refuse to take a breath test will be detained and brought to a hospital, where hospital staff may draw blood. Motorists who refuse to take a breath test in New Jersey are subject to a violation surcharge of $1,000 per year for 3 years. Failure to pay this surcharge will result in an indefinite suspension of driving privileges until the fee is paid. Additionally, the current penalty for refusal is the loss of driving privileges for between 7 months and 1 year, to run concurrently or consecutively, based upon a judge's order. Ignition interlock device NJSA 39-4-50.17 A motorist who is convicted of a DUI offense may be required to install an ignition interlock device in any motor vehicle they principally operate for offenses prior to December 1, 2019, or in one motor vehicle the person owns, leases, or principally operates, whichever the person most operates, for offenses on or after December 1, 2019, during and after the entire period for which their driving privilege is suspended. This device is attached to the vehicle with a built-in breathalyzer and prevents the vehicle from starting if the motorist's BAC exceeds 0.05%. The interlock requirement is in addition to any other penalty required under the state's intoxicated driving statute. First DUI offense with BAC of less than 0.15% prior to 1 December 19. Installation of ignition interlock device for 6 months to 1 year from the date of driving privilege restoration, judge's discretion. First DUI offense with BAC of less than 0.15% on or after 1 December 19, installation of ignition interlock device for 3 months to 1 year from the date of driving privilege restoration. First DUI offense with BAC of 0.15% or higher or refusal to sub-MIT to breath test offense prior to 1 December 19. Installation of ignition interlock device during suspension and for 6 months to 1 year from the date of driving privilege restoration. Driving offense conviction, loss of license, fines, fees, surcharges, imprisonment, community service (CS), IDRC squared or detainment or interlock for offenses prior to 1 December 19. Alcohol or drug-related DUI, third offense that occurs within 10 years of second offense, 10 years, $1,000 fine, $1,500 a year for 3 years surcharge, daily IDRC fee, $100 drunk driving fund, $75 Safe Neighborhood Services Fund, $100 AEREF, $125 DUI surcharge, 180 days 12 to 48 hours IDRC. Up to 90 days interlock required during suspension and 6 months to 3 years following restoration for offenses on or after 1 December 19. Alcohol or drug-related DUI, third offense that occurs within 10 years of second offense, for 8 years, same as above 12 to 48 hours IDRC. Up to 90 days CS interlock required during suspension and 2 to 4 years after restoration. Drinking alcoholic beverages while driving or riding a $200 fine, first offense, $250 fine. Second offense a drinking alcoholic beverages while driving or riding, second offense a $250 fine a 10 days CS driving on DUI suspension, additional 1 to 2 years, $500 fine. $250 per year for 3 years surcharge, 10 to 90 days a driving with no insurance, first offense, 1 year, $300 to $1,000 fine. $250 per year for 3 years surcharge ACS determined by court, driving with no insurance, second offense, 2 years, up to $5,000 fine. $250 per year for 3 years surcharge, 14 days, 30 days CS driving while possessing drugs, 2 years, minimum $50 fine. A1 underage drinking may cause a 6-month delay to get a license. 2 intoxicated driver resource center. 3 driving under the influence DUI. Alcohol and drug-related offenses require completion of an alcohol screening and evaluation program. 4. For important additional information on second and subsequent offenses, check NJSA 39-4-50. 5. Also suspends registrations for the same period. 6. The period of license suspension may be reduced or eliminated if the driver provides the court with satisfactory proof of vehicle liability insurance at the time of the hearing. Driving offense conviction, loss of license, fines, fees, surcharges, imprisonment, community service (CS). IDRC squared OR detainment OR interlock alcohol or drug-related DUI cubed first offense prior to 1 December 19 3 months to 1 year $250 to $500 fine, $1,000 a year for 3 years surcharge, daily IDRC fee. $100 Drunk Driving Fund, $75 Safe Neighborhood Services Fund, $100 AEREF. $125 DUI surcharge up to 30 days 12 to 48 hours IDRC possible interlock 6 months to 1 year alcohol DUI first offense on or after 1 December 19 with a BAC percent below 0.15% indefinite until an interlock device is installed same as above BAC of 0.08% to 0.10%. Interlock device for 3 months BAC of 0.10% to 0.15%. Interlock device for between 7 months and 1 year alcohol DUI first offense on or after 1 December 19 with a BAC percent at 0.15% or higher 4 to 6 months same as above 12 to 48 hours IDRC interlock during and 9 to 15 months after restoration drug-related DUI first offense on or after 1 December 19 7 to 12 months same as above 12 to 48 hours IDRC no interlock for offenses prior to 1 December 19. Alcohol or drug-related DUI second offense that occurs within 10 years of first offense 2 years $500 to $1,000 fine, $1,000 a year for 3 years surcharge, daily IDRC fee, $100 Drunk Driving Fund. $75 Safe Neighborhood Services Fund, $100 AEREF, $125 DUI surcharge 48 hours 90 days 12 to 48 hours IDRC. 30 days CS interlock required during suspension and 6 months to 3 years following restoration for offenses on or after 1 December 19. Alcohol or drug-related DUI second offense that occurs within 10 years of first offense 1 to 2 years same as above 12 to 48 hours IDRC. 30 days CS interlock required during suspension and 2 to 4 years after restoration. $1 Body Armor Replacement Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 D, $1 New Jersey Spinal Cord Research Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 E, $1 Autism Medical Research and Treatment Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 F. $3 New Jersey Forensic DNA Laboratory Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 G, $1 New Jersey Brain Injury Research Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 H. License suspension and interlock for offenses prior to December 1, 2019. 3 months to 1 year license suspension and possible interlock device requirement during suspension and for 7 months to 15 months following restoration. For offenses occurring on or after December 1, 2019, BAC of 0.08% to 0.10%, must install ignition interlock device for 3 months. License suspension forfeiture until ignition interlock device is installed. BAC of 0.10% to 0.15%, must install ignition interlock device for between 7 months and 1 year. License suspension forfeiture until ignition interlock device is installed. BAC at or above 0.15%. Must install ignition interlock device for period of license suspension forfeiture and then between 9 months and 15 months following license restoration. License suspension forfeiture of between 4 months and 6 months. Underage offense underage first offense, BAC 0.01% or more but less than 0.08%. NJSA 39 to 4-50.14, 30 to 90-day suspension of driving privilege on the day motorist becomes eligible to obtain a license or on the day of conviction, whichever is later. 15 to 30 days community service. Participation in an Intoxicated Driver Resource Center (IDRC) or Alcohol Education and Highway Safety Program, as prescribed by the MVC Chief Administrator. If a driver under age 21 buys or drinks alcohol in a place with an alcoholic beverage license, he/she may be fined $500 and lose his/her license for 6 months. If a person under age 21 does not have a driver license, the suspension starts when he/she is first eligible to receive a license. Also, the person may be required to participate in an alcohol education or treatment program. Mandatory penalties first offense, operating under the influence of alcohol, BAC 0.08% or more but less than 0.10%, NJSA 39 to 4-50. $250 to $400 fine. 12 to 48-hour participation in an Intoxicated Driver Resource Center (IDRC). IDRC fee of $264 for the 12-hour program or $321 for the 48-hour program. Up to 30 days imprisonment. $100 drunk driving enforcement fund fee. NJSA 39 to 4-50.8. $100 Alcohol Education, Rehabilitation and Enforcement Fund (AERF) fee. NJSA 39 to 4-50 B. $1,000 annual surcharge for 3 years. NJSA 1729A35 B 2 B. $75 Safe Neighborhood Services Fund fee. NJSA 2C 43 to 3.2. $125 DUI surcharge. NJSA 39 to 4-50 I, $33 court costs. NJSA 22A 3 to 4. $1 body armor replacement fund. NJSA 39 to -41 D, $1 New Jersey Spinal Cord Research Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 E, $1 Autism Medical Research and Treatment Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 F, $3 New Jersey Forensic DNA Laboratory Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 G, $1 New Jersey Brain Injury Research Fund. NJSA 39 to 5-41 H. First offense, BAC 0.10% or more. NJSA 39 to 4-50. $300 to $500 fine. 12 to 48-hour participation in an Intoxicated Driver Resource Center (IDRC). IDRC fee of $264 for the 12-hour program or $321 for the 48-hour program. Up to 30 days imprisonment. $100 drunk driving enforcement fund fee. NJSA 39 to 4-50.8, $100 Alcohol Education, Rehabilitation and Enforcement Fund fee. NJSA 39 to 4-50 B. $1,000 annual surcharge for 3 years. NJSA 1729A35 B, $75 Safe Neighborhoods Services Fund fee. NJSA 2C, 43 to 3.2. $50 Violent Crimes Assessment fee. NJSA 2C, 43 to 3.1. $125 DUI surcharge. NJSA 39 to 4-50 I, $33 court costs. NJSA 22A, 3 to 4. The driving privilege. Driving is a privilege, not a right. State law allows, or requires, an individual's driving privilege to be suspended for certain motor vehicle violations, which means the driver license will be taken away and the motorist may not drive for a stated period of time. In addition to license suspension, fines and imprisonment may also be imposed for moving violations. The length of suspension depends on several factors, including which law is broken and how many convictions a motorist receives. Likewise, license restoration depends on the types of offenses and the number of convictions. A habitual offender is a motorist whose driver license has been suspended 3 times in 3 years. To avoid any problems, it is important to know and obey New Jersey's traffic laws, which are in place to protect every motorist. Some suspensions are decided on a case-by-case basis. If the sentence is not mandatory, the chief administrator of the MVC or the courts may suspend driving privileges. Reasons for loss of driving privileges may include, but are not limited to, the following reasons: failure to appear in court to pay fines, failure to pay violation surcharges, driving while suspended, failure to provide proof of insurance, physical or mental disqualification, drug or alcohol use, traffic law violations, at fault in a fatal crash, failure to respond to an MVC notice. The MVC chief administrator may also require a re-examination of any person considered to be a problem driver. This re-examination will help determine whether driving privileges should be suspended. Driving under the influence (DUI) if a driver's blood alcohol concentration is 0.08% or higher, or a person operates a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicating liquor. They may be convicted of driving under the influence. NJSA 39 to 4-50. Drivers under age 21, the legal age to purchase, consume alcohol, found with a BAC of 0.01% or more while operating a motor vehicle will be further penalized. NJSA 39 to 4-50.14 in New Jersey. A person must be age 21 or older to purchase, possess or consume alcohol. Underage drinking is illegal and can have severe consequences for young people who drink and for adults who provide alcohol to those under age 21. Distance judgment, following too closely can cause problems. Vigilance, not remaining attentive to the driving task can cause a motorist to follow too closely, drift into another lane, etc. Divided attention, driving is a task that requires constant attention to traffic, roadway, and weather conditions, passengers, gauges, etc. Healthy driving. Any health problem can affect an individual's driving. Even little problems like a stiff neck, a cough or a sore leg can give an individual trouble while driving. If a motorist is not feeling well, she should let someone else drive. Vision is important to safe driving. Most of what a motorist does behind the wheel is based on what she sees. State law permits the MVC to retest 10% of the driving population each year. A motorist should have her eyes tested every year or 2. If over age 40, a motorist should have her eyes checked every year. Good side vision, peripheral vision, is also essential for safe driving. Side vision helps a motorist see out of the corners of her eyes while looking straight ahead. Distance judgment is also an important component to driving. A motorist should know her distance from any object while driving. Bad distance judgment often causes crashes. Hearing is more important to driving than many people think. The sound of horns, sirens or screeching tires warns a motorist to be careful. A motorist may be able to hear a car that cannot be seen. Even people with good hearing cannot hear well if the radio is blaring or she is wearing earphones. A motorist should always keep the radio turned down and never wear earphones. Designated drivers is the first state in the country to officially launch the HERO campaign for designated drivers. New Jersey encourages all state residents to participate in designated driver programs wherever they travel, whether as a motorist or a passenger. Being a designated driver is a great responsibility. The designated driver is responsible for the safe transportation of friends or family members who have been drinking alcoholic beverages. Designated drivers not only ensure the safety of the people they are escorting home but also the safety of other motorists. A motorist who chooses to have a designated driver when attending functions where alcohol will be served shows maturity and consideration for other motorists who share the road. More information about designated drivers and the HERO campaign can be found at www.herocampaign.org. Drugs and Driving NJSA 39-4-49.1. 39-4-50 It is illegal to operate a motor vehicle on New Jersey roadways under the influence of any illegal drugs. The labels on bottles of prescription drugs will describe common side effects. Drugs that may cause drowsiness or dizziness should not be taken before driving. Ask a professional about how over-the-counter drugs may affect driving. Drugs that may affect basic driving skills include cold pills, tranquilizers, and some prescription medications. Never mix drugs without asking a medical professional about possible side effects or how the drug may affect driving. Alcohol should never be mixed with any drugs or medications. If asked, motorists using prescription drugs must show proof of the prescription to law enforcement. If a motorist does not have a prescription for the drug, and a prescription is necessary in order to obtain the drug will be considered illegal. After alcohol, marijuana is the drug most often found with drivers involved in crashes. Marijuana use may affect a motorist in the following ways: loss of tracking ability, this is the ability to maintain a vehicle in a given lane. High BAC when steadily drinking large amounts. Heavy drinking will always produce a high BAC. Eating does not make a motorist sober. The best way to avoid drinking and driving is to arrange for a designated driver, use public transportation or call a cab. Drinking and driving. Drinking affects a motorist's thinking and slows reaction time. Alcohol may also give a motorist a false feeling that she can do anything. Law enforcement is trained to notice certain telltale signs that a motorist has been drinking, speeding. An intoxicated driver often thinks high-speed driving is safe. Weaving. Even though an intoxicated driver may stay in the correct lane, driving straight may be a problem. Slow driving. An intoxicated driver may be overly cautious and drive slower than the normal traffic flow. Jerking motion. An intoxicated driver often may have short mental lapses and not keep a steady speed on a clear road. Quick stops. An intoxicated driver may make sudden stops at a traffic sign or light, rather than easing up to it. Good hosts and the drinking driver. Always be a good host. If serving alcohol at a party, always provide alcohol-free drinks and serve nutritious foods or snacks. Never insist that a guest should drink an alcoholic beverage or insist on refills. Stop serving alcohol well before the party ends. If someone drinks too much, do not let them drive. If no other transportation is available, suggest a nap or invite the guest to stay the night. As a last resort, notify the police. Hosts may become involved in a lawsuit if a guest is involved in a drinking and driving crash after leaving the party. How much is too much? The only scientific way to check is through blood alcohol concentration, or BAC. A simple breath test will show a motorist's BAC. BAC is determined by 4 factors. Quantity of alcohol consumed. Body weight. How quickly drinks are consumed. Food eaten. The best way to reduce the risk of a crash caused by drinking and driving is not to drive at all after drinking. In New Jersey, it is illegal for an individual to drive while under the influence of intoxicating liquor, narcotic, hallucinogenic or habit-producing drugs, or with a BAC of 0.08% or higher. NJSA 39 to 4-50 for individuals younger than 21, it is illegal to drive with a BAC of 0.01% or higher. Violators face severe penalties in addition to other penalties assessed for DUI, DWI. NJSA 39 to 4-50.14 if a motorist has reached a BAC of slightly above 0.05% after drinking, the risk for causing a motor vehicle crash doubles. The risk is 6 times as great when driving with a BAC of 0.10%. The risk is 25 times as great when driving with a BAC of 0.15%. Note, under state law, refusal to take a breath test is illegal. Penalties include loss of driving privileges, referral to an Intoxicated Driver Resource Center (IDRC), fines, and installation of an ignition interlock device. NJSA 39 to 450.4 motorists who refuse to take a breath test in New Jersey are also subject to a violation surcharge. Failure to pay the surcharge will result in an indefinite suspension of driving privileges until the surcharge is paid. NJSA 1729A35 It is important to remember that it does not matter what alcoholic beverage is consumed. There is just as much alcohol in the average beer as there is in the average drink of whiskey or wine. For example, 1.5 ounces of 80-proof whiskey, 12 ounces of beer or 5 ounces of wine all contain the same amount of alcohol, about 1/2 ounce of alcohol per drink. Studies show that most people arrested for drinking and driving had been drinking beer. Although food does slow the absorption of alcohol into the bloodstream, eating will not. If the motorist is involved in the crash, she can help the police by answering as many questions as possible and by giving them as many facts about the crash as possible. When damage to the property is more than $500 or there is personal injury, a motorist must send a written report to the MVC within 10 days if no police report is filed. A written report is not required if a report is filed by the police. A motorist can get a copy of the report from the police. Notify her insurance company at once, giving complete information about the crash. If the motorist is shaken up, she should see a doctor as soon as possible. Effects of alcohol. Alcohol is a drug that affects overall driving ability. Alcohol may make a motorist overconfident and unable to think clearly. Motorists who drink may make more mistakes. Even if a motorist thinks she is below the level of legal intoxication. Alcohol will affect driving. Drinking even a small amount of alcohol increases a motorist's chances of having a crash. Never drink and drive. Driving under the influence of intoxicating beverages means that a driver's senses and judgment are impaired by alcohol. After 2, 3 or 4 drinks, alcohol begins to impair reaction time, coordination and balance. Vision and the ability to judge distance is affected, making it more difficult to react and to drive safely. The only thing that can make a person sober is time. Alcohol is removed slowly by the body. The majority 90% of the alcohol that is detoxified is oxidized, burned up, by the liver. The other 10% is eliminated in breath, urine, and sweat. This fact is the prime reason why sober-up quick methods do not work. In addition, studies have proven conclusively that a combination of alcohol and anger is responsible for much of the reckless, aggressive driving that can cause fatal highway crashes. While most alcohol-related crashes involve only one vehicle, they frequently result in the death or serious injury of side crash. If the vehicle is about to be hit from the side, the motorist should keep a tight grip on the steering wheel. This may keep him/her from being thrown against the side of the vehicle. The motorist should be ready to turn fast, so that if the vehicle spins around, he/she can try to control the vehicle. Head-on crash if the vehicle is about to be hit from the front. The motorist should use his/her arms and hands to protect his/her face if wearing a shoulder strap and the vehicle is equipped with airbags. If the vehicle is not equipped with a shoulder strap or airbags, the motorist should throw himself/herself across the seat to keep from hitting the steering wheel or windshield. Airbags will typically deploy in vehicles that have them. Parked vehicle crash. If a motorist hits a parked vehicle, the police must be notified. The driver should also try to find the owner of the vehicle. What to do in case of a crash. If a motorist witnesses a crash or is involved in one, he/she should follow these tips in order to help protect everyone involved. Stop the vehicle. Remain calm. Assume the worst and get help. Notify the police, call an ambulance. Wait at the scene, but try not to block traffic. Ask for assistance from passing motorists, bikers or joggers, if needed. Depending on the location of the crash, local road, highway or in a busy city intersection, warn oncoming traffic. Reporting crashes. NJSA 39-4-129, 39-4-130, 39-4-131. New Jersey law requires motorists to notify the police of crashes where there is injury, death, or vehicle or property damage. If someone has been killed, do not move the body or permit anyone to move the body until the police or ambulance arrives. The road if necessary. If the motorist can keep from using the brakes while turning, this will lessen the chances of a skid. A motorist should not brake hard if turning onto a soft shoulder of a road. This could cause skidding or loss of control. Speed up. Sometimes it is best or necessary to speed up to avoid a crash. This may happen when another vehicle is about to hit a motorist's vehicle from the side or from behind, and there is room to the front to get out of danger. A motorist should push the gas pedal to the floor. There may be only seconds to act, so a motorist must decide quickly. Once the danger has passed, the motorist should slow the vehicle's speed. Last-minute choices. A motorist should never panic, especially in the few seconds before a possible crash. There are some last-minute choices that he/she will have to make. A motorist should always be aware of what to do in an emergency situation. Reacting properly and quickly can avoid crashes or, at least, minimize damage. If a crash looks possible, the motorist should turn away from oncoming traffic, even if it means leaving the road. Driving off the road, rather than skidding, gives the motorist more control over the vehicle. The motorist should choose to hit something that will give way, such as a bush or shrubs, rather than something hard. Choose to hit something moving in the same direction, rather than something that is not moving. Choose to hit something not moving, rather than something coming straight on. If hitting something is unavoidable, try to make it a glancing blow. A sideswipe, for example, will help slow the vehicle. Try to never hit anything head-on. For every inch that a motorist steers away from a crash between the center of the vehicle's front end and the center of the oncoming object, the energy of the crash will dissipate and reduce injury and damage. Rear crash if the vehicle is about to be hit from the rear. The motorist must be ready to apply the brakes to avoid being pushed into a vehicle ahead. The motorist should brace his/her body between the steering wheel and the seat back, pressing the back of his/her head firmly against the headrest if the vehicle has one. Gas pedal problems. If a gas pedal sticks, the motorist should keep his/her eyes on the road while quickly shifting to neutral. Steer the vehicle to a safe area off the roadway. Turn the engine off and call for help. Hood latch failure. If the vehicle's hood suddenly flies up, the motorist should slow down immediately. He/she should try to look under the hood to see the road or look out of the side window around the hood, using the center line or lane markings as a guide. The motorist should pull the vehicle to a safe area off the roadway as soon as possible. Windshield wiper failure. When windshield wipers stop suddenly during rain or snow, the motorist should slow down, pull to a safe area off the roadway and turn on emergency flashers. Call for help if necessary. Crashes, accidents. Avoiding crashes no matter how careful a motorist is. Emergencies do arise. It is important to know how to safely handle any type of situation that may occur. Proper reaction could save the life of the motorist and his/her passengers or others involved. Above all, seat belts should always be worn while driving. If a motorist sees that his/her vehicle may hit something, one of these things can be done: stop, turn or speed up. Stop quickly. If the vehicle has conventional disc and drum brakes, the motorist should pump the brakes to gain better control in steering. The wheels will lock and cause skidding if a motorist brakes too hard and holds them down. If the vehicle has anti-lock brakes (ABS), they will adjust automatically if a wheel begins to lock. With this brake system, a motorist can put maximum pressure on the brakes and retain steering control without pumping the brakes. Turn quickly. If a motorist cannot stop in time, he/she should turn away and drive off. Vehicle failure. No matter how well a vehicle is maintained, there is still a chance a motorist will experience vehicle problems. A motorist should always be prepared for any type of situation and never panic. Brake failure. If a vehicle's conventional disc and drum brakes suddenly fail, a motorist should shift to a lower gear and pump the brake pedal fast and hard several times. This may build up enough brake pressure to stop the vehicle. If that does not work, the parking brake should be used while holding the brake release, so the motorist can let up if the rear wheels lock and the vehicle begins to skid. With the vehicle in low gear, the motorist should begin looking for a safe place to stop off the roadway and call for help. Tire blowout. If a motorist experiences a flat tire or blowout, he/she should hold the steering wheel firmly and keep the vehicle straight while gradually slowing down. The motorist should remove his/her foot from the gas pedal but not use the brakes. The vehicle should coast to a stop on its own as the motorist pulls to a safe area off the roadway. Power steering failure. When an engine dies, a vehicle's steering will fail. The motorist should keep a firm grip on the wheel because extra hand power will be needed to turn or keep control. The vehicle should be brought to a stop in a safe area off the roadway. The motorist may need to push very hard on power brakes that are not working. Headlight failure. If headlights suddenly go out, a motorist should safely bring the vehicle to a stop in a safe area off the roadway. The headlight or dimmer switches may help the lights go on again. If this does not work, the motorist should put the parking lights, emergency flashers or turn signals on and call for help. Car fires. Most car fires are caused by short circuits in the electrical system. In case of fire, do not waste time. Get passengers out and away from the vehicle at once, and call for help. A motorist should never attempt to put out a fire. Plunging into water causes more panic than any other emergency. Actual tests have resulted in a few tips. A vehicle with windows and doors closed will float for about 3 to 10 minutes. Two major points of escape and self-rescue from a submerged vehicle are to wear a seat belt, which will increase the chances of surviving the initial impact of the water, and, while the vehicle is still floating on the surface, to escape through an open window. It is hard to open a door against water pressure, but a window can be rolled down easily. Power windows may short out, so try to open them at once. Glass in the side and rear windows can be broken, but only with a heavy, hard object. A front-engine vehicle will sink nose first. Some air may be pushed to the rear, near the roof. When the pressure inside and outside the vehicle is equal, it is easier to open the door. A motorist should try to escape through a door or a window. Remember that 3 to 5 minutes gives plenty of time in an emergency. Wearing a seat belt is the best insurance against being knocked unconscious. Once out of the vehicle, a motorist may become disoriented underwater. Always remember to follow the air bubbles to reach the surface. Stalling on railroad tracks. If a vehicle stalls on railroad tracks, the motorist and any passengers should get out and move far away from the vehicle and tracks, even if a train is not approaching. Once clear of the vehicle and tracks, a motorist should call the number on the emergency notification sign posted at the railroad crossing or 911. If a train is approaching, run at a 45-degree angle away from the vehicle and tracks but in the direction of the train to avoid being injured by flying debris. Rear-wheel drive vehicles in the same way. If the rear end of the vehicle starts to slide, a motorist should take his/her foot off the gas pedal. A vehicle may spin if the steering wheel is quickly turned away from the direction of the skid. To avoid a spin, the motorist should turn in the direction the rear of the vehicle is skidding, without oversteering. When skidding, a motorist should look in the direction that he/she wants to go. A motorist will be able to feel when the vehicle is back under control and should then straighten the wheels. During a side skid, avoid using the brakes. Emergency stops. If an emergency highway stop is necessary, a motorist should always keep several basic points in mind. On a highway with paved shoulders, signal and turn onto the shoulder at or near traffic speed, then begin to slow down. Where the shoulder is unpaved, signal a turn and slow down to a safe speed before turning off. Once the vehicle is pulled to the shoulder, turn on the parking lights or emergency warning lights. Never block tail lights at night by standing or working behind the vehicle. Day or night, put a flare or other warning sign just behind the vehicle. Put another warning device at least 300 feet back, about 120 paces. Raise the hood. Tie a white handkerchief to the antenna or left door handle as a signal, if help is needed. Running off the pavement if a vehicle's wheels drift onto the shoulder of the road. Do not try to turn back onto the pavement right away. This might throw the vehicle off balance. Too often motorists panic and steer abruptly to return to the road, causing the vehicle to slingshot across the roadway or into traffic. Instead, a motorist should stay on the shoulder and ease up on the gas pedal. After the vehicle has slowed down to 25 miles per hour or less, The motorist may turn back onto the road by turning the steering wheel 1/4 turn toward the roadway. This will allow tires to climb the pavement edge and get back onto the pavement. If a vehicle runs off the pavement, slow down. Regain control. Turn slowly onto the road. Stay alert, dedicate full attention to the roadway. Pay close attention, signs and work zone flaggers save lives, turn on headlights, workers and other motorists must be able to see the vehicle. Do not tailgate, unexpected stops or slowing may occur. Do not speed, note the posted speed limits in and around the work zone. Minimize distractions. Avoid changing radio stations or talking on hands-free devices when traveling through a work zone. Expect the unexpected, keep an eye out for workers and their equipment. Be patient. Remember that work zone crew members are working to improve the ride for all motorists. Reacting to driving problems. A motorist should always be prepared for any problems that she may encounter while driving. Certain situations require the motorist to react immediately in order to avoid a crash. Ignition system. Today's vehicles are equipped with ignition systems that, when used properly, will prevent the theft of an automobile and vehicle roll away. An ignition system permits key removal only when the vehicle's transmission is in the park position. Motorists in an emergency situation on the highway may attempt to turn off the vehicle while it is still in motion, believing they will bring the vehicle to a stop. The basic rule the motorist must follow when operating a vehicle with a steering wheel ignition system is to never turn the ignition to the lock position while the vehicle is in motion. The steering will lock as the vehicle turns, and the motorist will lose control of the vehicle. Skids. Sudden turns, lane changes or hard braking can throw a vehicle into a skid. This often happens on wet or icy roads. A motorist should handle a skid in both front wheel and construction zones, work zones NJSA 39-4-203.5. Most motorists encounter construction on roadways. In New Jersey, traffic fines are doubled for motor vehicle violations committed in roadway construction zones. These work zones are identified by an advance warning sign or flashing lights on a vehicle up to 1/2 mile before the work area. Flaggers may control traffic and protect project personnel in the work area. Sometimes it is necessary to redirect traffic from its normal path around the work zone. Motorists may encounter a detour onto another roadway to bypass the work area or a diversion onto a temporary roadway, such as a median crossover or a lane shift. If traffic is permitted through or adjacent to the work area, it will be guided with temporary traffic control devices. At the end of the work area, there will be an end road work sign or the last temporary traffic control device, so motorists can resume normal driving. For illustrations of signs and barricades used in construction zones, see the driver safety section at the end of this manual. It is extremely important for motorists to remain alert when traveling through a work zone. Annually, there are nearly 800 fatal and over 37,000 serious injury crashes in work zones. In addition, congestion and delays may mount, causing the frustration level of motorists to rise. Motorists should keep the following basics in mind. If at the middle of a block, check intersections ahead for traffic controls. When approaching or nearing an intersection, reduce speed. Glance left and then right. Keep your foot on the brake. When at a crosswalk, a vehicle should be at its lowest speed. A motorist must decide whether to stop or go across. Take quick glances around. If clear, proceed to cross. Watch for uncontrolled intersections where there are no lights or signs. Do not think that a roadway is protected because it is wide, smooth or busy. If there are no traffic signals, there is no traffic control. Avoiding crashes is up to the motorist. Look, listen, think. Highway driving. Traffic crashes and deaths can happen on highways when the weather is good and the roads are dry. Exceeding the posted speed limit or driving too fast for road conditions is one of the most prevalent factors contributing to traffic crashes. Major highways are usually in good condition. They often have 4 or more lanes. Wide open spaces often give a motorist the feeling that she can relax her attention. It is important to stay alert on highways. Some highways may not have traffic signals or signals at crossroads. This means a motorist must drive defensively and stay within the speed limit. Always be ready to react to the unexpected. Hills, bridges and other road hazards. A motorist should always be on the lookout for signs that warn of road hazards. These include hills, dips, narrow bridges, bumps, and railroad tracks. Drive slowly in these areas. If a vehicle is moving too fast, the motorist may not be able to slow down in time. Speeding and applying the brakes firmly can cause a skid or a spin. Motorists should be cautious when traveling in farm country or in open land where livestock or deer may cross the road. If a motorist encounters an animal, she should slow down until the animal has passed. Animals make unexpected moves, so a motorist must be alert.